What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and infrastructure news update for Saturday, November 6th. Here's what happened. Last night I actually did a later video to address how the hard infrastructure bill actually passed last night. That hard infrastructure bill passed, but it passed with a vote of 228 to 206, which means there were many Republicans that jumped on board with Democrats to pass this bipartisan infrastructure bill. That is the good news. This has passed, and now Democrats can just work on the human infrastructure bill, that aspect of the Build Back Better plan. According to reports just this morning, the expectation is this bill will pass sometime around November 15th. However, do not be discouraged. Don't think that this is going to just blow up and it's not going to pass if it extends a little bit longer. Some people are saying November 15th. My guess is, and again, Nancy Pelosi is not good with deadlines. Democrats always blow through them. So I don't expect a November 15th deadline. I would expect this bill will get closer to December, possibly, once we see the government potentially get shut down. We don't see government funding. We see the debt ceiling, have to be addressed again. Those two things, once we get a little bit closer to that December 3rd date, my expectation is that's going to put more pressure on Democrats to finally get this deal done. What we are hearing is that one of the reasons why Democrats decided to pass one bill and not both is simply because the votes that happened last week, the turnover that we saw in Virginia, that's a problem. Democrats are saying that they needed to do more and they didn't. And what they are telling us is that they have to do what the American people are expecting, and that's passing bills. President Biden came in and said that he is going to be able to work with the Republicans and the Democrats, be that middleman and get things done. However, that has not been the case. So the expectation at this point is they need to do more. The only Democrats that actually voted against this bill, and just to give you an idea, they were not voting against the bill because they didn't like it. They voted against the bill because they were promised both bills would be voted on at the exact same time. That didn't happen. So the Democrats in the House that voted against this were AOC, Omar, Bush, Bowman, Presley, and Tlaib. Those are the only ones that voted against this bill. And then there were 13 Republicans that voted for it. Now, many Democrats have privately acknowledged the fact that a good jobs report that came in yesterday, okay, I addressed this in my video that I did yesterday morning. Go and check that out if you want to. But along with the expectations of prolonged inflation are making some Democrats reconsider the fact that passing this $1.75 trillion infrastructure bill is good to do at this time. Some are saying that we need to spend a little bit more time and address the big issue, which is inflation. Now, President Biden did promise progressives that they're not done, and he will not stop. He will continue to push until the entire Build Back Better plan has passed. But that is, again, it's a promise from President Biden, and I'm not going to say he promised so it's going to happen because, well, he's promised $10,000 in student loan forgiveness. Hasn't happened. $200 per month for Social Security beneficiaries. That hasn't happened. Those discussions are pretty much gone. So that's not great news there. But let's address what's actually in this hard infrastructure bill. Many people don't know. I thought this was very interesting, but many Democrats were saying the reason why the polling is so bad and why the American people do not want to see a $1.2 trillion hard infrastructure bill is because they don't know what's in it. But yet Democrats don't come out and start talking about what is actually in the bill. They're pushing for other things. The next bill. And I addressed this, last week and the week before as well, that many Democrats understand that this human infrastructure bill that we are now going to be working on for $1.75 trillion, that's not going to be it. That's going to be the down payment for the next bill. So again, they're always looking at the next bill. And so they don't care that, okay, the Senate, yes, they passed a $1.2 trillion bill. Great. But tell the American people what's in it. So, according to Nancy Pelosi, it should be the media's job to tell the American people, not up to Congress. Well, but here's what's actually in the bill. There's $110 billion for roads, bridges, and major projects, $39 billion to modernize and make public transit more accessible. This is going to help a lot of elderly people as well. $66 billion into rail maintenance, $11 billion to highway safety, $7.5 billion for EV charging networks, $42 billion for ports and airports, $50 billion for infrastructure against climate and cyber, $65 billion towards broadband. This is a big one. The $55 billion towards clean water, $73 billion to update and expand the grid, and $21 billion to remove pollution from soil and groundwater. Here's how this will be paid for. $200 billion is going to be repurposed from the COVID funds. This was the big debate that we saw a few months back. There's $50 billion from a delay in the Trump era rule on Medicare, $30 billion coming from information reporting requirements for crypto. So if you're wondering why your cryptocurrencies are kind of selling off, this is the reason why. But this is not necessarily a bad thing. This is just something that's new. Many people are going to overreact to this. So here's what I recommend. If you are not yet invested into any type of crypto, I'd recommend you do that. Do not take your final few bucks and put it into crypto. If you have a little bit of savings, maybe take a little bit and diversify. There's Bitcoin, Ethereum. Those are kind of my two main holdings. I do have a little bit in Shiba, just because, well, it's one of those kind of meme coins that people keep on pushing. There's some value to it, not a lot in my opinion. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be much better, and I do have some in Cardano as well. So if you want to invest, I'll put a link down in the description box below. You can go and sign up and start investing into crypto through an app called Webull. You also, I believe, get $5 free in cryptocurrency as well, just when you sign up for $5 free with Shiba. But go sign up. If you want to invest in stocks, you can do that as well. Deposit $100 and you can get 2 free stocks, I believe valued up to $1,850. So make sure you go and check that out. We also know there's $60 billion from the economic growth, $87 billion from previous and future sales of wireless spectrum. Again, they're going back in time, taking those previous sales and going to use those funds for right now. This entire bill is not going to be fully funded. Democrats knew this going in, and this is actually going to add to our national deficit of $256 billion over the next 10 years. So here's what I can tell you, and I know what you guys are thinking. Why would we support this bill when there's nothing in this for us personally? And that may be true, but here's what I can tell you. This is going to help a lot of lower income families. Right now, what we are seeing is that for lower income families, if you need help with your internet bill, there is a subsidy out there that you can just pay $50 per month to get internet, to go and get broadband. This is big, and especially for those people that are still doing a lot of their schooling from home, working from home. This is a very good thing. So that subsidy was for $50 per month. Well, in this bill, and part of the $65 billion towards broadband, in this bill, that subsidy goes from $50 down to $30. So you only pay $30 per month in order to get internet. So for a lot of people, this is going to be extremely helpful. And there's more to this bill. Honestly, there's a lot more to this bill that's going to help out the American people. There's not much in this bill as far as immediate relief, immediate assistance. It's not there. That's not what this bill is for. That was the other bill. That was going to be more immediate or within the first year assistance programs. This one doesn't have it. So just understand, this is going to benefit us, each. It's going to benefit us differently, but it's going to benefit us over 10 years, not over just, the first couple months. We're not going to see benefits there. There's no stimulus check coming. Okay, just keep that in mind. But and I'm gonna go through this bill with more of a fine-tooth comb. I'm gonna pull out the different things that are in this for us. So make sure you stick around. Make sure you go and subscribe as well, so that I can keep you updated on everything that's going on. But I promise I will do follow-up videos on this. Okay, I'm not just gonna address the next bill. I will address this one as well. So make sure you come and watch this weekend and this following week, because I will update you on all those things. Here's what we also know. As of yesterday, Friday, November 5th, what we are hearing is 26 states have decided to file a joint lawsuit against President Biden, opposing his vaccine mandate. And I know what you're thinking. Of course, all the Republican states are going to go and join this joint lawsuit against President Biden. True, but the facts are that 3 of these states are Democratic-led states. So Democratic-led states are suing President Biden as well, because they say this is just going to create an additional hardship among working families. They also say this could cause economic disruption and staffing shortages in a time when we need to push the rebound and not slow it down. So what I can tell you is we're not done. We are going to continue to see what's going to happen over the next month or two. We need to see a lot of movement regarding the government funding bill and regarding the debt ceiling increase. We have to see movement because we have less than 1 month in order to address those two things, or the government shuts down and we could potentially be in a recession. We could potentially be in a pretty much, it would be worse than 2008. So if you were around in 2008, you saw the hardships from the American people, from businesses, and from the government. Well, according to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, things could be worse than what happened in 2008 if we were to breach that debt ceiling. So that's what we know at this time. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share more. So, and thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have an incredible weekend as well. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next.